Friends, welcome back to Eric Booting Broadcast. Today, we have a look on the shining and how can Silver overtake NVIDIA again. Not a catch up with NVIDIA, but a total defeat on the NVIDIA. Sounds quite amazing. Well, whether it can overtake NVIDIA as the world's second most valuable asset, we have a look. Starting from the silver price, well, the milestone starting from the year of 2025 on December 28th, as you can see, well, on this day, the silver price rises up to 79.25 US dollars per ounce. Well, that is, at the close time that reached to 80 US dollars. So, on that day, what happened? Well, the market cap of the silver has risen up to 4.5 trillion US dollars. What does that mean? Well, we have a look on today's, largest companies, market cap list. Well, on the first one, as you can see, the NVIDIA, the market cap is 4.8 trillion, and a lot of the others did not even reach to 4.5 trillion US dollars. So, on that day, the silver defeated the Google, the Apple, the Microsoft, Amazon, all those, the high-tech giants has been defeated by the silver. And now, back to the, silver price. 2 weeks later, on January 14th in 2026, the silver price has kept jumping, jumped to the 90.09 US dollars per ounce. And on that day, what happened? The market cap of the silver has risen up again. It jumped to the 4.039 trillion US dollars. Quite amazing, huh? Well, not only defeated those, old competitors, the Google, the Apple, the Microsoft, it even defeated the first one, number one in the high-tech giants, the NVIDIA themselves. Well, this is about 500 billion US dollars higher than the NVIDIA. So this is a quite amazing point. However, this is not the highest point. The highest point is here. 2 weeks later, starting from the January 14th, on January 29th, the silver price first came to the 121 US dollars per ounce, and the market cap of the silver has jumped to 6.8 trillion US dollars. What does it mean? It means in this 2 short weeks, almost 2 trillion US dollars increasement on the market cap. Can you imagine that? Within 2 weeks, it can grow for almost 2 trillion US dollars. This is higher than a lot of the nation's GDP. So this is quite shocking. However, this is only a start for the silver. And in this, procedure, as you can see, the market cap of the silver has been quite, I would like to say, quite stable since, first time such a large of the amount, the money has flowed inside of the silver. However, the market hold it, but the silver, as you can see, on April 17th today, the silver price sitting on the 78.95 US dollars, and the silver market cap sitting on the 4.4 trillion US dollars. Well, this is a little bit of the, smaller than the NVIDIA's number, that is 4.8 trillion US dollars. So 400 billion shorter than the NVIDIA. However, that is 400 billion dollars higher than the first one, the Google, and it is almost 1 trillion US dollars higher than rest of its competitors like the Apple, the Microsoft, Amazon. Can you imagine those high-tech giant cannot defeated the single silver on this list? Quite amazing, huh? More than that, for those friends who are curious about how do we actually calculate the silver's market cap, the way is quite simple. Directly multiply the current silver price with the amount of the silver that is estimated to have been mined so far. And now, keep going. In this procedure of the the boiling time, or we say this is a milestone moment for the silver, I captured some very funny thing and very crucial. According to another high-tech giant, Elon Musk, he said, "This is not good. Silver is needed in many industrial process." Well, this one is quite amazing. Himself is the leader inside of the high-tech industry. why he cares so much about the silver. This is because silver has been more than the single silver coins sold it in the on the street in the coin shops. They are something more crucial. They are the blood and the constructor of modern industry. Well, according to the Oxford Economics official website said, silver is the next generation metal. For those friends who are familiar with the metal, we all know it is the black metal, the uranium and the steel. They built up the first industrial revolution and the second industrial revolution. However, in the third time of the industrial revolution and the fourth one, silver are absolutely the major builder for this whole system. According to this report, it highlights the critical role silver plays in data centers and artificial intelligence. Well, here I need to have a stop and emphasize in a modern data center, hundreds of thousands of computers. What else is inside? I would say tons of the silver. In modern, devices, the silver has not been, put it inside by grams. They are put it inside of those data centers by tons, not even kilos. It is thousands of kilos of silver has been put inside in every data centers. Can you imagine what it looks like? And those artificial intelligence devices, high calculation is very hot. It is physically speaking, it is really hot. You need something that can distribute the heat outside. Only the silver can make it. And more than that, automotive and electric vehicles, the EVs and solar energy, photovoltaics, the PVs, and with these sectors expected to expand significantly over the coming years, we expect the future silver demand to be strong. I would like to say it is already strong enough. In a lot of your, your daily Tesla, those electronic cars, you have the silver inside. Even it's inside of your cell phone, your computer, even your microwave, you also need the silver inside, to distribute the heat to make sure enough of the electronic conductivity. And let's we have a look more detailedly. First one, this is very classic circuit board. It is placed in most of your modern electronic devices. As you can see, on this board, you have a lot of the shining white point and a lot of the small. This is white knot. Now those point and those sort of the tight lines, white lines here, they have the silver inside. They are not made by the simple copper or the plastic or the urine. They are made by a lot of part that are made by the silver alloy. Without those silver alloy, you cannot distribute those heat outside of the electronic devices, which will directly cause the devices overheated. And more than that, without those silver, the electric cannot go inside so fluently. And more than those things on the surface, inside of it, can you see those lines here? Under those lines, how do we connect it and how do we paste those points on the board? It is not by the glue. You cannot use a glue to paste it. It is pasted by the silver paste. So you can see how many silver is inside of it. Countless. Well, second one, this is the solar panel. You can see hundreds of thousands of solar panels here, and inside every solar panel, we have the silver inside. Because without the silver's special, physical characteristic, the electronical conductivity and the thermal conductivity, without those two crucial points, the heat cannot be distributed outside. More importantly, without the protection of the silver, the electric cannot concentrate so easily inside of the panel, inside of the battery. So this is, I have to say, this is the lives of those devices. Silver are the soul. In that, well, let's we have a look on the third one. This is only a simple cup of water. However, in order to acquire this simple cup of water, you need tons of the silver inside of our modern water purification system, since only the silver can kill the bacteria without, using the harmful chemical elements inside. So silver is quite magic. Keep going. Now the fourth one is for the friends who are familiar with the mechanic. Well, this is a bearing. they have a very thick layer of the silver package on the outside. This is why it is super shiny, super white, and looks like well polished, because only the silver inside of the engines that can reduce the abrasion for those still, common, or we say traditionally, the engine failure for those cars or, heavy, modern tools, no matter electronical or oil or gasoline version, they all require the bearing inside to motivate them. And without the silver lubricate, it cannot move so smoothly. And this is why, while we have the silver package, the steel, reduce the abrasion, and the cars can run on the road for, from the traditionally only 100,000 miles we need to repair. Now it can easily reach to 300,000 miles or even 500,000 miles without big repair. This is the secret, the silver. And now, after so many data we have looked and after so many reports we have read, let's be back to the investment. As we know, in the investment arrow, we cannot put all the money on the same program, and we must reduce the risk. We need to have investment, very reliable investment strategy, that is investment diversification. Just like old saying, not all the eggs can be put in the same basket unless you want it all broken. So today's question is not about whether we should bring those gold and silver into our investment portfolio, but the question should be, how could they not inside? How could your basket do not have gold and silver eggs inside? After all, if without gold and silver, how do you see together with NVIDIA? How do you see together with those high-tech giants inside of it? Only the silver can make you there. So, like I said, follow the price, follow the precious metals, hold the silver in hand. Thank you for watching. See you next time.